attend this presentation. So I'll be talking to you about a project like about BirdPlus, which is a birding application that we have been working on it for almost a year now, right here at the Leventis Ornithological Research Institute. We needed to, tackle some major challenges that the African Bird Atlas Project has been facing for years, and we feel the need to create an app that will be able to solve that problems. And not only that, we felt there are a whole lot of things that researchers want to, do, but in most cases, they don't really have the chance, like they don't have access to a mobile application that will be able to, help assist them to, do those things. And yeah, so we feel there's a need for us to create something that will be, beneficial to everyone. So I would like to share my screen. Okay. I hope you all can see my screen.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So BirdPlus is a mobile application for birding and ornithological research. Basically, it allows you to collect bird data using any standard protocols. So you can use it for atlasing, you can use it to collect bird data along with any standard protocols, any established protocols. So I would like to give you a brief background as to the motivation behind building this application. So back in 2021, when we started working with the African Bird Atlas Project, we identified 4 major problems that the project is facing, and we felt these are really serious problems that we felt we can be able to solve. So these problems are, for example, lack of point coordinate for individual species, lack of abundance data, lack of strong support for researchers, and lack of multilingual support. If you don't understand any of these things, don't worry. I'm going to explain them one after the other, and I will try as much as possible to break it down so that everyone listening to me will be able to understand. So when we identified these problems, we felt we needed an app that can be able to solve all these problems. So we started working on an application, a mobile application, and today we are happy to say that BirdPlus is already much available for everyone to download and use. I'm going to drop some links for you to download because I want this presentation to be in 2 phases. The first aspect is going to be the actual presentation, and then the second part is going to be like a practical on which I will take you through how to use the application to collect bird data. So let me just quickly drop some links here. Sorry. All right, so you can find the link to download the application, and then there's a detailed user guide that we have written for birders to be able to help to guide birders on how to use the application, all the different features. So yeah, so back to the challenges that we have been facing, or that the African Bird Atlas Project has been facing for many years. Let's start with the first one. Lack of point coordinate for individual species. So what does that even mean? So the thing is, if you are a citizen scientist and you have been atlasing using any of the currently using any of the currently available mobile application, what you may not realize is the fact that when you send your data, or when you submit your data to BirdMap, your bird species data doesn't come along with their individual coordinates. And this is something that we feel is critical, and we need to have this information. So whatever application that you are currently using, we don't get to receive the point coordinate of each individual observation. Therefore, the only thing that we do is that we use the center coordinate to assign to all the species within any species or any given pentad. And we end up having a distribution that looks like this, having all the species clustered at the center of the pentad, when in essence, the distribution is actually supposed to be like this. all right, so that you will be able to know where exactly this species has been sighted within a given pen tag. So with BirdPlus, all observations do come with their specific, with their individual coordinate, whereas in other applications, they don't come along with their with their individual coordinate. And we feel this is actually a massive improvement in the African Bird Atlas project as a whole. Now, the next problem is lack of abundance data. You see, when you use any of the currently available application, you collect bird data as a citizen scientist, and then you submit your record to BirdMap. What you may not equally know is the fact that we only get to receive only species that have sequence number. The abundance data are not being sent to the database, and we believe that we really need this data because once in a while, we do receive requests from people that they need abundance data because they want to answer certain research questions. Unfortunately, if you come to us to ask for abundance data, you will be out of luck because currently we don't have abundance data in the entire database of bird maps. What we have are just lists of species with sequence number. So if a species doesn't have a sequence number, it will not be sent to the BirdMap database. With BirdPlus, it is possible to send everything, both species with sequence numbers and species that doesn't have sequence numbers, which is actually the abundance data, to the BirdMap database. And that simply means that after some time, if people begin to use the app, it is very possible for people to request for abundance data, and they will actually get it and to answer whatever research questions they want to answer. Now, going to the next one, lack of strong support for researchers. You see, as citizen scientists usually just go to the field to collect mainly bird data. They are not concerned with any other additional variables. But researchers, on the other hand, they are interested in not only collecting bird data, but they want to collect additional variables along with bird data. Unfortunately, any of the currently available application doesn't allow you to collect bird data along with additional variables to answer any of your research questions. And so, for example, maybe you are a forest ecologist and you are interested in collecting maybe vegetation cover, for example, number of shrubs, number of trees, and all of those variables. Unfortunately, with the currently available applications, none of it allows you to collect such kind of variables. Or maybe you want to collect variables related to behavioral studies, maybe feeding or nesting behavior. There is no provision for you to collect those variables. And possibly you want to collect morphometric variables. Currently, none of the mobile app that is currently in existence allows you to collect this kind of variables. In BirdPlus, we have something known as data forms and automatic checklist creation. So what does that mean? With data forms, researchers can collect exactly the type of variables they want to collect for any research question, while at the same time contributing their data to the BirdMap database. So the way data forms works is that it allows you to create custom fields and add all the variables you want to collect. And when you save the data form, you can then collect those variables and bird data. At the same time, it will automatically create a checklist for you to do a BirdMap checklist. So you are in the field collecting your own variables. At the same time, the app keep track of your observations and create a checklist, a BirdMap checklist for you that at the end of the day, you will be able to submit this checklist to the BirdMap database. So if the checklist meets the requirement for a full protocol, for example, you do a line transect and you spend 2 hours, you can actually submit this data as a full protocol observation, while at the same time you have your other variables and your bird data that you can export and you start your data analysis. And the good thing is that you can use any of the established protocols. So you can use line transect, you can use point count, you can use point transect, you can use capture recapture, any of the established protocols, you can use it. And this is something that there has never been any application that allows you to do that apart from BirdPlus. Right. So, and finally, we realize that African Bird Atlas project is not only for English-speaking countries. There's a need for us to extend it to non-English speaking countries. So for that, we decided to integrate, we decided to integrate multiple languages to support other non-speaking English countries. So we added support for Francophone and Portuguese speaking countries. That way, those people will be able to, participate in atlasing and contribute their data to the BirdMap database. So having been able to solve all these problems, we felt we should actually make birding more fun and engaging. So in that case, we are not going to, stop by, because we've been able to solve some of the fundamental problems of the African Bird Atlas project. We feel the need to make the app even much more fun, engaging, and interactive. And for that, we decided to add even more interesting features to make birding much more interesting, much more engaging and interesting to people. So we added challenges, we added newsfeed, and then we added a photographic checklist, and then networking. So let's start with challenges. So in BirdPlus, challenges are very, very simple and straightforward. If you want to join a challenge, you just need to go to the challenge section and then join whatever challenge that you want to join. Okay, so, and we believe that birding challenge is not only a fun way to engage with other birders, but it also encourages friendly competition and helps sharpen birding skills. So in BirdPlus, joining a challenge is extremely easy. Go to the challenge section, choose whatever challenge you want to choose, and then join. As soon as you join any challenge, the app automatically keeps tracks of your observation and then rank you in the leaderboard of that challenge. You don't need to do anything, just join the challenge and that's it. So when you come to the challenge page and then to any of the challenge page, and then you go through this thing, you'll be able to see your position in the leaderboard. It is as simple as that. There's no need to, there is no any long process of going to maybe another external link to join a challenge or taking extra steps to join any challenge. Everything is right there for you, right inside the application in a very simple and straightforward manner. And then the newsfeed feature. So in BirdPlus, newsfeed is like a great way for birders to engage with others in real time. So supposing you're in the field and then you notice something interesting, you could just simply create a post and post it on the newsfeed, and people will be able to engage with your post. So for example, you come across a bird species that you cannot identify, you can simply just take a snapshot of the bird species, post it on the newsfeed, and others, it will notify the community that someone has posted something, and then people will come and assist you to identify the species. So we believe that the newsfeed is actually a way to engage the community so that they will actively contribute. They will actually actively participate in the birding generally. And then for photographic checklists, so in BirdPlus, all checklists are by default, they are photographic, and that simply means that you can be able to attach photograph for each of your observations. We believe this is a great way to encourage wildlife photographers, for example, to upload pictures of bird species that they have seen in the field, and for those that want to just keep track of their photographic observation, for example. So you can upload pictures for each of your observation. It is very simple and straightforward. And then we added networking. So here you will be able to follow other users, or other users can follow you, and then you will receive notification anytime someone that you are following has posted something, right? So it's just a way to keep track of what people that you are interested in are doing on the app. So I will believe that this is actually a great way to just keep updated with people that you actually are interested in their activities. So this is basically the presentation aspect of this talk, and I'm going to switch to my mobile device and demonstrate to you how this app works and how you can use it to collect bird data. But let me quickly point out some things. So I get asked often a lot that whether citizen scientists or birders or users can be able to submit their record to the BirdMap database. Let me use this opportunity to say that BirdPlus is fully integrated with the BirdMap database, and you can submit your record after every birding session, and it will go straight to the BirdMap database. And when you go to the BirdMap website, you will be able to see your name and your list and everything, just the way it works with other applications. And secondly, let me quickly say that this application is in its early stage of development. So it is possible that there could be some errors, some bugs, and yeah. So if you notice something is not working correctly, or you have some suggestions to make the app even much more better, please do not hesitate to contact us. Then we can try our best to fix the issue. And again, the app currently supports only Android devices. Support for iOS is coming soon, but for now, it supports only Android devices. So before going to the practical aspect, let me just quickly appreciate the institute, the Epileventis Ornithological Research Institute, and then the GP project that have made the funding available to make sure that this project is a success. And then Associate Professor Adam Chagza, who has been super helpful. And then our leader, Dr. Sam T. Vande, and Dr. Talatu Tende, and Professor Will, and then Professor Ulf Ottersen. They have been super helpful in making sure that this app is a success. And then my colleagues, Bello, Ini, Nanchin, Josiah, and this other lady from Senegal, whom assisted us to translate the app in French. They are super helpful. I just want to appreciate them. So going back to the practical aspect, so I have posted the link in the chat section. So if you already have the app installed on your device, you might still need to go to Play Store and update it, because I've just pushed in a new update early morning today. So it is very likely that you don't have the latest version. So please just go to the Play Store and download and install the latest version, so we can be on the same page. So I'm going to switch my screen from the desktop to my mobile phone so that I'll demonstrate to you how this app works and how you are going to use it. Hello, Nanchin, how can I end the sharing, please? So if you already have the app installed on your device, you just need to, if you are creating an account for the first time, so when you open the app, you registered, the first thing you need to do is to go to your settings, okay? And then configure your language preferences. So the app language by default is English. And then you choose your species display name, how you want it to be displayed, okay? And then your region. So we have a global region here. So if you choose global region, it loads the entire species in the world, okay? But you should just choose Nigeria, for example, or choose your region of preferences. So once you are done configuring your languages, you will just need to, go back, and then you click. I hope we are all together. Hello, are you all listening?
Yes, we are. Just continue.
Okay, all right, thank you. So the next thing you need to do, so we are going to start. So you want to do atlasing, for example, you will just need to click here. So if you click the plus icon, you are going to see about 3 menu items here. The first one is go bedding, and then log incidental record, and then create a post. So if you want to maybe create a post to share your bedding experience, or maybe to ask questions, or maybe to clarify certain things, you can just simply create a post, just the way it works maybe on Facebook or Twitter. And then if you want to log an incidental record, so this time around, you are not exactly going for bedding, you are just doing some other activities, and then you come across any species of interest and you feel you should, just record it. So you can click on the log incidental and then record that species. But majorly, what you'll be doing often is to click on this go bedding. So when you click on go bedding, you'll be taken to a screen where you will see two buttons. The first one is to create a checklist, and then the second one is to create a data form. So what does this even mean? So a checklist is majorly just for atlasing. So you are a citizen scientist. You don't need to collect any other information. You just want to collect bird data. What you need to do is just to create a checklist. But if you are a researcher that want to collect additional information, you can click on data form to create a data form and add all the variables you want to collect. And then you go to the field and start collecting your data. So for now, we are going to create a checklist, so which is majorly for atlasing. So you just click on create checklist and then name your checklist. So maybe I'll just name this checklist something like Amrum morning bird walk. Okay, you can name your checklist however you want it, but let it just be something that is meaningful that you understand. So you just click on save and continue. So when you click on save and continue, it takes you to this place where you will now start collecting your data. So you can see that you will see the range of GPS, the accuracy, and then the time. It keep track of the time that you are using. That it keep track of your time basically, and then the current pentat where you are. So you come across maybe a common bubble, for example. Now you have started atlasing, right? So you come across common bubble. So you just need to click on add sighting and then search for common bubble. Okay, common bubble, and then just click on it. Or maybe you've had a laughing dove, right? The call of a laughing dove, you just search for laughing dove. As you type the name of the species, it automatically suggests to you, and then you just need to click on it. So just click on, this. So that is how you'll be doing, right? You'll be logging all the species that you have seen or you have had within any place, right? And the good thing is that as you keep atlasing, if you entered a new pentat, it creates a new card for you, and you'll be able to see it here in real time. So when you are done collecting your data, you will just need to click here, the this three dot icon, and then you will see these two options. Either you want to export your data as CSV, or you want to submit your data to BirdMap. Supposing you want to, maybe you're finished your bidding session for that day and you want to submit to BirdMap, you just need to click on submit BirdMap, and then it takes you to this place. So the app is very smart enough to know if this card is full protocol or ad hoc protocol. For example, if you spend 2 hours atlasing, it will automatically check the full protocol option for you. But if you spend less than 2 hours, it will check the ad hoc protocol for you. And then you just need to check to make sure that all the information here are correct. Once you know that, once you notice that everything is correct, you just need to click on this check icon, and then it will ask you, do you want to submit the card now? So if you want to submit the card to BirdMap now, you just click on yes, submit. It will just send your data to BirdMap straight. But if you are not ready, you just click on cancel. So I went for atlasing early today. This card, this Just Wildlife Park, was my checklist for today, early morning today. And I spent 2 hours to collect data, and I'm going to submit this data to the BirdMap database so you can see how it works, okay? So I'll click here, so it opens, and then, sorry. Okay. Sorry. So let me just click here to load the data. So I'm going to submit this so you know how it works. So I'll just click here and then click on submit to BirdMap. This is a full protocol card, and then it checked the full protocol for me automatically. And all I need to do is just to click here, and then it will ask me, do you want to submit the card now? I'll just click on yes, submit. Yeah, so you just wait for some time, and then it will send the data to BirdMap. Yeah, so you see that the card submitted to BirdMap successfully. Once you see this message, it means that your record has been sent to the BirdMap database. And when you go to the BirdMap website, you'll be able to see your and then your record and everything there. Okay. So yes, so that is how Atlassian works here. And you can always click on this place to be able to know your to display your observations on the map in real time. Okay, so when you click, you'll be able to see the current pentad where you are, and then your observations are spread across the entire pentad. So when you minimize it a bit, you'll be able to see, and you will see the boundary of the pentad and the current where you are, the current location where you are. And you can always toggle here and then to start. And the good thing is that if you submit your card to the BirdMap database, you will see this green checkbox to indicate that you have actually, this card has been submitted, like you have submitted this card to the BirdMap database. And then you can go back here. So usually for me, I don't like seeing a list of plenty lists here. If I'm done Atlassian and I don't want to go back to the list again, I will simply just archive the list. So if I click archive, it disappeared from my view. But when I click this cross icon here, it displays all the lists that I've archived. So archiving is simply just a way of making room for for new checklists, so that all checklists will not just occupy your screen. You just archive them and then just make room for new checklists that you'll be creating, so you don't have, so it doesn't so it doesn't occupy your screen unnecessarily. Yeah. So, and now then going back to data forms, right? So you want to create data form, you just need to click on this icon. Okay, it will still take you to this place, and then you select data form. So the way it works is that maybe you want to do point count. Okay, you want to do point count, and then you want to collect not only bird data, you want to collect habitat variables too. You just need to just name your data form. Just give it a name. Maybe let's say PhD research, for example. Okay, then notice this option, create a BirdMap checklist for this form, right? So if I toggle this option, it will automatically create a BirdMap checklist for me, so that when I'm done collecting my data, the data that I want to collect, I can be able to submit this checklist to the BirdMap database. So this is more like a win-win situation. Your data, you can be able to send your data to the BirdMap database, and then you have the chance to be able to collect exactly the kind of variables you want to collect using any of the established, any of the standard protocol. So let me say you want to do line transect, right, or point count, for example. So now I'll toggle this option so that I would be doing Atlassian at the same time. Then you select protocol. So I will select point count, for example. So if you want to collect species specific information, such as maybe individual coordinate of each species, you can toggle this option. Okay, but if you are not concerned about collecting species individual coordinate, you don't have to. But in this case, yeah, definitely I will toggle this option because I need to collect species specific information. Then here you can add all your variables. So let's say you want to collect, this is point count, right? So let's say our first variable here is point, okay? Point is categorical, or if you like, you can make it continuous, but in this case, let me just put it as categorical, okay? Then now if you select categorical, it allows you to add the categories for each of the points. So let's say my points are point A, and then point B, and then point C. All right. The next variable I want to collect is that maybe at every point I want to collect number of trees, for example. Number of trees. Number of trees is continuous variable, so I don't need to change anything. And then I also want to collect number of shrubs, which is also continuous, so I don't need to change anything. And then I want to collect habitat type. So habitat type, okay? But habitat type is categorical, so I can just select categorical, and then I can, add all the categories of the options, right? So let's say gallery as a category of habitat type, and then savanna, and then maybe rocky outcrop. Okay, so once you are done adding all your variables, the next thing you need to do is just to click on save and continue. So when you click on save and continue, it takes you to this page where you will now begin to collect your data, right? Collect exactly the kind of variables you want to collect. So supposing we are in point A, we'll just click on point A. So usually there are instances where you have so many variables and you need to save time because, you know, birds are mostly active in the morning. So you don't want to waste time collecting all these variables before going to the next point. So you can just click on point A, for example, and then go to sightings and start adding your observation. So let's say I've seen a laughing dove in point A, laughing dove. You just click here. It opens this place where you can indicate if it is seen or heard, and then the count, and then if you want to collect the distance, maybe you're using a laser range finder to measure the distance from the observer to where the species is. You can write the distance here, and if you want to write any notes, you can simply write it here. And when you add laughing dove, yeah, it is now in your list. And then maybe you've seen a common bubble, or maybe you've had a common bubble calling. Just search for common bubble and then click, and then you click on this add, and then add any other information you want to add, and then click here. So when you are done with collecting the variables for point A, just click here. So if you want to collect other variables, you can always click here and then fill in the remaining information, okay? But if you want to save time, you will want to just click to indicate that this is point A. Then when you are done collecting the bird data for each of the points, then you can come back and collect the other variables so you don't waste time, you know, spend time, you know, collecting other variables. Because you can always come back to collect those variables because those variables are always there. It's not like they can change or anything before you finish your data collection for that day. So you can come here and then, but yeah, for the sake of this demonstration, let me just quickly fill in this information so that you see how it works. Okay, maybe number of trees in point 1.5 is a point. Number of trees in point A is 5. Number of shrubs maybe 2. Habitat type maybe it's a savanna. Once you are done collecting the variables for point A, just click on the preview icon. You'll be able to see all the variables you collected for this point for point A and all your bird observations. And then most importantly, before you leave point A, make sure that you save your record so that it will save your record to the database. Once you are done saving your record, then you move to the next point, which is point B, and then click on new record, and then repeat the process. When you are done, you go to the next point, and so on and so forth. When you are done collecting everything, just exit this screen, and then it will take you back to this place. When you click the data forms, you'll be able to see it here, and you can easily, you know, just export your record as CSV, send it to your email as an attachment. Sent. All right. Now, but when you go to checklist, you will see that the app have automatically created a checklist for you from the data form that you created. So if you see any checklist that have F, it means that this checklist was automatically created from a form, okay? And you on this icon and then submit your record to BirdMap. It means that you have been able to collect your data, collect exactly the variables you want to collect, and at the same time you are able to submit your record to BirdMap, which is really a massive improvement in the BirdMap in the ABAP project entirely. So when you go to your email, for example, you can see, yeah, so I have submitted, you can see that the full protocol card that I submitted earlier, you will receive a message from SABAP automatically indicating that your record has been successfully submitted to the database, and then you'll be able to see a summary of all your observations here. Okay, and then for the data form that you collected for your research, you send it to your email. You can easily just click here to download it and visualize it. You will see that it captures the date, the time, the latitude, the longitude, and then the English name, and then the count, and then the name of the species in different languages. and then the status of the species, whether it is least concern or endangered or critically endangered, it automatically captures all those information for you. And then seen or heard, you will see it here. And then the point, and then the other variables that you have collected, number of trees, number of shrubs, and then habitat types, everything will be captured for you. Then you will only need to start doing your data analysis. There's no need for manual data entry and all of those things. So I think in a nutshell, this is basically how the apps work. And at this point, I would like to say that this is, in essence, how this app works. And I would like to, just say, yeah, we have come to the end of the presentation. And apologies once again for the terrible networks that has made us to start the presentation a bit late. So once again, thank you so much for attending the presentation.